Ugh. 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 What is good, YouTube? It is your boy Super, and today we're bringing back an OG video type, which is the tier lists. And today we're not doing any tier lists, we're not doing models, we're not doing colors, we are doing the ugliest hoop shoes of all time tier list. And how did I conduct this, you may ask? And I actually, on my IG, my Instagram, go follow me if you don't, Super, at Super on Instagram, go follow me. But on there, I posted on my story, what are the ugliest hoop shoes of all time? And you guys would comment and let me know what the ugliest hoop shoes are. From that list, I got hundreds of submissions. I chose the 35 most suggested, and then I popped them in this list. Some of them I think are personally heat, but some of them a lot of you guys hated on. So without further ado, let's head over to La Computadora, as my girlfriend would say, because she's Mexican. So as you can see in here, we have at the top, absolute fire. These hoop shoes, in my opinion, are just absolute heat, and I don't know why you guys suggested them so much. Up next, we got low-key heat. These aren't on that top level of heat, but you know what? They're low-key decent. They're kind of fire. Kind of the middle level, the upper middle level, we got meh. Like, they're not that bad, but they're not good. Meh. Up next, this is where we kind of get into bad territory, kind of shit. Again, I'm going to limit the swearing. I'm going to censor it out because we want monetization. We want money, guys. I'm corrupt. And then below that, we got... And at the very bottom, we have the poop emoji, aka utter dog shit. So now that you guys are introduced, let's get right into it. Up first, we have the Trae Young ones. Now, these were a very highly suggested shoe. If I'm being honest with you guys, any of the Trae Young models, not the biggest fan. These, in my opinion, are probably the ugliest of the Trae Young models. So, well, I don't think they're at the very low tier of this list. I think they're definitely not on the highest tier. So off rip, I'm going to say the Trae Young ones, about as good as his haircut. I'm going to put him in kind of shit. Like, I don't think they deserve to be in the lower tiers, but they deserve to be in kind of shit. And again, let me know down below in the comments how you guys feel about my rankings. If I missed any ugly shoes that should have been on this list. Again, these are your guys' suggestions. I didn't have any opinion in this list till now. So, sue me. Up next, we have the T-Mac 3s is what I believe they're called. Again, I'm probably going to have these shoes the wrong name, but sue me. I just put it together. Now, these babies... Again, I had probably 3 or 4 people suggest this shoe. It wasn't super popular, but people put it in there. And, you know, the full patented leather, the kind of chromy look, nowadays, people I don't think would rock with it. But back in like 2003 or something, I think people really rocked with these. So me personally, because this is my personal opinion, this is my list, I'm going to pop these in the kind of list. They're not that good looking. I think performance would be absolute horrible on these, but again, we're not doing performance, we're doing looks, and you know, they still look kind of horrible. Up next, we have probably one of the biggest shitters of all time, one of the worst looking hoop shoes. I am a hater. These things look like bricks, and that is the Kobe Adidas 2s. Adidas Kobe 2s. What am I, dyslexic? Now, these babies, especially in the chrome colorway I have on screen, absolutely horrendous, man. I don't know who design these, but whoever it is, they need to be fired, and I don't know, hit with that electric chair special. Horrible, hate them, no more explanation, in the poop tier. Now up next, this is a very controversial shoe. It's a recent one too. It's the Anthony Edwards ones, aka the AE ones. Now these babies, again, I could tell, very polarizing. I actually have a pair. I could see why people hate on these shoes. Very unique. So you know what, I can understand where you're coming from, but me personally, I do not agree. I think the only valid reason I hate these shoes is that, one, it's like a phobia of holes. Let's just say I have that. Oh, that's tough. Yeah, jokes aside, I can see why people don't like the shoes. All the little holes, kind of like the sharp edges. I can see why people aren't a fan, but me personally, I am a fan, and a big fan at that. I love the unique looks. Again, you're going to see a constant theme throughout this list and all my videos. If you watch the rest of them, subscribe to my channel, please, and watch all my videos. I need more money. But you can see that common theme. I love unique hoop shoes, and these are super unique, and me gusta, as my girlfriend would say. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these in the fire section. Absolute heat. I do not know why you guys voted this in. And if I'm being honest with you guys, this is probably one of the most voted in shoes. This was like a solid 40, 50 votes. It was up there. Now up next, we have the Trae Young 3s. These babies, I think, are the best looking of the Trae Young models. The colorway on screen, it is actually pretty clean. That like blue fading to blue, me gusta. Or as my girlfriend would say, azul fading to azul. She's Mexican. All right, but you know what? These are pretty decent. Again, I like that like geographical-esque look on the. I definitely didn't say that right. On the outsole. Not the worst looking shoes, so I'm gonna pop these in. Meh, they're not that bad, but they are by no means heat. Up next, we have the Harden Volume 5s. Now, again, this had a lot of suggestions, and me personally, I don't get it. I think they had a few fire colorways, like the pink colorway, bang, right there, super clean. The red colorway, bang, right there, super clean. I'm making the editing so hard on myself, so I might as well make it harder. Oh my god, what is that picture? But yeah, looks-wise, I don't really know where you guys are coming from. I know they got a lot of hate performance-wise, which I think some people are throwing in the mix. My brother, Little Doobs, he personally said that performance-wise, they're not that good. Traction, but he used them outdoors, and outdoors they perform pretty decent because like any shoe gets traction outside. But for indoor use, they weren't that hot, which I think is where a lot of the hate is coming from. So again, I'm just basing this off of looks. I think a lot of the Harden Volume 5s look pretty decent. So I'm going to pop these in low-key heat, man. Let me know if you guys disagree with me. Comment it down below. But me personally, low-key heat. Up next, we have the Westbrook 6s, a.k.a. the Why Not 6s. These, they have that diagonal-esque outsole, ugly-ass colorway, zippers, neon on neon. I'll describe it in one word. Now up next we have the Adidas Crazy One, or what I believe was it's the Adidas Crazy One, but they also called it the Kobe Ones. It was like his first Adidas signature shoe. So these, especially in the mustard colorway, not the biggest fan. They look super chunky, just like the 2s did, but I will say they are better than the 2s, but they're still chunky, kind of awkward looking. And I'm just overall not a fan of the design. And again, like I said, the mustard-esque colorway with the gray, who decided that, man? But yeah, I'm going to pop these in the ew section. Really not a fan. Super ugly. And up next, again, one of the most popular suggestions, the Harden Volume 7s. I don't know what it is with Adidas and putting out hoop shoes that are very polarizing, where it's like they have just two, what is it called? It's not spectrums, it's binary. People either love it, people either hate it. It's nowhere in between. And I think the Hardens follow that kind of suit, where really unique. Got that puffer jacket-esque look, that big bubble in the back. Really unique looking hooping shoe. So I could see where people are coming from. But me personally, man, like, are you guys looking at these and calling them ugly? Me personally, I think they're fire. I think these are probably one of the cleanest hoop shoes in my collection, just based off of looks and performance. They're good. So I don't even know where you guys are coming from. So I'm going to say whoever suggested that, you're idiots. And I'm going to go ahead and pop these in the fire section. Uh-oh, don't demonetize me. It's the ring finger. And then up next, we have another Adidas polarizing hoop shoe. In the Adidas, I want to say these are the Crazy Infinities. They're like the recent version of the Kobe Ones or the Crazy Ones. Again, very polarizing. A lot of people hate it. A lot of people think they're too chunky. But me personally, man, I don't know what it is about this new version of this shoe, but they're low-key clean. Like, I don't know what it is. They're very similar to the ones, but they're like the modern version. They got a little zipper. They got a little pizzazz to them in that like nude colorway. I'm gonna do something crazy, guys. Watch out. I'm doing something crazy. I'm gonna pop these in the fire section. These are absolute heaters. Underrated. Surprised me even. And then up next we have a shoe that you guys probably have never seen before, and that is the Kobe 2s. Yep, the Kobe 2s. The Nike Kobe 2s. These babies remind me of a Curry, but even uglier. Personally, not a fan. I don't know. Again, I don't know what they're thinking when they design some of these shoes. Oh my god, they're hideous. I might mess around and pop these in the poop emoji because I'm not gonna swear. They're Up next, we have the Converse D Wade 1s, and yes, you heard me right. Dwayne Wade 1s with Converse. Now I know a lot of you guys are youngins. I know my customer demographic, And I know you guys probably know of the brand Way of Wade. And you're probably like, why is Dwayne Wade with Converse? Didn't he have his own brand? And this was earlier on in his career before he had Way of Wade. So he was signed with Converse and had his own signature shoe. And this was the first one. At first, when I put this on this list, I'm like, ugh, those are hideous, man. But then the more I look at them, I'm like, those are kind of fine. These babies are like low key. They got that like suede-esque materials, and then the slits with the orange in between. It's like giving me a spooky Halloween vibe. And man, I'm gonna do something against the grain. I think a lot of you guys are gonna disagree with me. Comment below if you disagree with me. But I'm gonna put these in low-key heat. They're low-key fire, man. They're low-key fire. Like, if you give me a pair of these, I'm gonna rock them. I'm gonna rock them. Up next, we have the Zion 1s. Now, I don't know about you guys, but me personally, I'm not a fan of Zions. These babies are kind of just like the design off. They're really, really chunky.
Just like Zion.
Apologies, again, this is just a joke. Zion, he's really athletic, really strong, but he's got a little fluff on him. He's a little chunky, if you know what I mean. So I'm gonna mess around, put the Zions kind of poopy, but again, they did have like a Dragon Ball Z colorway, I'm pretty sure. So it doesn't matter. Kind of. Now up next we have the Zion 2s. And these I think are a slight improvement on the ones. I think they have a few decent colorways, like the EYBL colorway that came out, and then this purple colorway on screen is not that bad. All orange colorway, pretty decent colorways of this shoe, so I'm not gonna hate on it too much. But the silhouette in itself. So again, you guys could probably assume since I don't like it that much, but it does have some fire colorways and is an improvement on the ones. I will say I think I can move it up to meh. And now, bang, man, we're on to the Zion 3s. We got all the Zions in a row. What a coincidence. The Zion 3s were the only Zion that I actually own myself, and I don't own anymore. Unfortunately, performance-wise, I thought they were way too narrow. Traction wasn't that good. Just didn't have a good feel to the shoe. Materials felt a little cheap. Overall, I just hated the hoop shoe. So I returned them, but I will say looks-wise, these are pretty fire. Kind of remind me of a Kobe. I wish they performed good because the looks are there. The looks are there, man. But again, we're judging them off looks here. So I'm going to mess around, keep it simple, keep it brief, low-key heat. Next up, we have the Cosmic Unity 1s, 2s, and 3s. Now, I know a lot of this line gets hate. This was, again, highly suggested. A lot of you guys suggested the Cosmic Unity 1s, 2s, and 3s. I'll go one by one. The 1s, not too bad. I think they're like a simple-looking hoop shoe. I think they kind of remind me of some like vintage Hyper Dunks. So I think these babies, again, they're kind of simple. I'm going to mess around and put them at like, meh, they're not that bad, man. They're not that bad. I think very simple, just a simple silhouette. They threw the Nike swoosh on there, a little bit of bubbles and stuff. Not that bad. Now, the 2s, on the other hand, I don't know what they were doing with all that extra TPU going up and down, the swoosh lower, the weird outsole. Long story short, these are like horrendous. I'm gonna mess around, pop these down in the. Next, we have obviously the Cosmic Unity 3s. These personally, they look like that one Air Max. What is it? The Air Max 90s, Air Max 97s, 95. I don't know which Air Max it is. I'm not really an off-court shoe guy, but I will say these look very similar to that. And I like it. Kind of remind me of like a sweater type deal. I've heard performance-wise they're not the best. But again, we're judging them off looks. And for looks, I think they're slightly better than the ones. Therefore, low-key heat. And next we have a pretty big shitter. These are the Grant Hill. I can't remember if they're with 1s, 2s, 3s, whatever. They're Grant Hill's hoop shoe and they're with Fila. That's a horrible combination. These babies, they're in like that Knicks colorway. It's made mostly out of like the leather. Kind of looks like it's made out of Roblox or something. Not a fan. Super, super ugly. Would never wear these in my life. I would rather step barefoot in some dog shit than wear these. So I am going to pop these in the poopy section. Poopy, poopy. And up next, we have the LeBron Soldier 10s. These got a few suggestions. And me personally, man, I don't know if it's the nostalgia in me because, like, back when I was in, like, 8th, 9th grade, maybe it was 10th grade, hooping, I'd see these all over the place. And to be honest with you, back then, I thought they were actually pretty clean. Like, no laces, just straps. That's kind of hot. And, like, again, I think they were pretty iconic. So, well, I don't think they're super, super clean looking back at them now. Like, they're not bad. But they're by no means bad. But I think the nostalgia's kicking in. So, I'm going to have to pop these in almost fire, but they're low-key heat. Again, I think it's the nostalgia kicking in. Let me know how you guys feel about the LeBron Soldier 10s, because I know a lot of you guys are younger than me. I'm 21 years of age. So, like, maybe you look at them and objectively you're like, straps, what are you, a Skechers kid? And then up next, we have the Charles Barkley 1s. Now, I had no clue that Charles Barkley had a hoop shoe with Nike, but apparently he did. And these are kind of again, I'm looking at a lot of these hoop shoes on here, and I'm like, who on earth designed them? Who on earth released them? Like, these aren't concepts made by people who don't have degrees and it's like, these people have degrees in these departments. They're designing these shoes, and they're coming out like this. These, again, I don't think they deserve the bottom tier, but close to it. Up next, we have probably the most requested shoe on this list in the LeBron 19s. Now, I know these are probably the heaviest hoop shoe of all time, and I know a lot of people got them, didn't like the performance and whatnot, and they are pretty ugly. But for being the most requested shoe on this list, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I think that's just a bias towards them being so heavy and so hated on in regards to performance. Looks-wise, they're bad, but I wouldn't say they're like the worst of the worst. Like, I don't think they're as bad as the Grant Hills, man. So, again, while performance is horrible and these were by far the most requested shoe on this list, I hate to break it to you guys, but I'm going to pop them in the U section. I apologize. But they are not the worst, but they're still horrible. And up next, we have a recent shoe. These are the GT Hustle 2s, I believe, which is funny because there were no GT Hustle 1s. And these babies, again, like I said, are pretty recent. I had a pair of these. I returned them because I wasn't the biggest fan. But looks-wise, again, the colorway I had was like that black and purple colorway. And the colorway right here is the Christmas colorway. And ooh, those babies are kind of heat. Overall, the silhouette, I'm not the biggest fan of. They kind of share that like same puffer jacket-esque design. But I don't think they executed nearly as clean as like Adidas did, clearly. So therefore, I don't think it deserves a fire. I don't think it deserves low-key heat because, again, that colorway on here is pretty fire, but a lot of the other colorways are horrible. So therefore, I'm gonna pop it right in the and then bang. Up next, we have the Trae Young 2s. Trae Young, again, you need a new designer in your department because Anthony Edwards is getting heat hoop shoes, James Harden is getting heat hoop shoes, but you are getting some of the ugliest hoop shoes known to man. These are, in my opinion, the ugliest Trae Youngs of the series. So, therefore, I'm going to pop you in the U section. Yeah! Now, up next, we have a classic. We have the Nike Foamposite 3. And these might be the ugliest hoop shoes on this list. I don't know who designed this with the TPU on TPU. If you don't know what that is, it's essentially all plastic with like some carbon fiber in there. Overall, man, the design of this shoe is horrible. On top of the looks being absolutely horrendous, I can only imagine the performance being bad because if that's all plastic, man, those are going to feel like bricks on your feet. You're not going to have any support. You're not going to, I mean, you're not going to be able to go anywhere in those. Long story short, performance would be horrendous. Looks are absolutely hideous. These deserve to be in a tier of their own, but guess what? They're down there in the poop section. Up next, we have the D-Book 1s. This is, again, kind of mixed opinions. I need to explain. Ones on screen, those are the ones releasing, I think, February 17th or something. And those are horrendous. But I will say, the other colorways that you've seen D-Book wear, like the white and purple, if I can find these. If I can't find them, I'm just going to put nothing up there and I'm going to look stupid. But the white and purple colorway, the broken, shattered backboard colorway, really, really clean. Like, I'd put those in the fire tier. But they also have colorways like this one and the dark blue one that they're releasing to the public, and they look horrendous, bro. So I think the silhouette has potential. This shoe like on screen though is super ugly. So because of the contrast of these would probably go in EU and the other ones would go in fire, I think I'm gonna have to put them in between in meh. But this is something I'm actually curious about. Comment down below how you feel about the D-Book ones, because I'm very curious to see what you guys have to say. Do you agree with me that it can be fire, but these aren't? Or do you like these? You don't like the other ones? Just let me know how you feel. Up next, we have these. These only had like one suggestion, but because it was so unique and I've never heard of it before, I had to include it in here. And these are like the Nike, or not Nike, they're like the Reebok Preacher ones, or the Hop Steppas. It was some weird name that I'm not going to be able to remember. But these babies are ugly. They look like they're 20 pounds on each foot. I don't even know if I'd be able to get off the ground with these things on. So super ugly. I had to include these, and these are no doubt about it bottom poop tier, no doubt about it. Up next we have the MB3s. I had a lot of people suggest the MB3s, and then I had like 3 or 4 submissions that suggested the Dexter's Lab colorway, which is slightly offensive because I actually own a pair. Like I've mentioned before, I keep on mentioning it, I'm glazing. I really like unique hoop shoes, and these babies are really, really unique. I like it's like a psychedelic-esque colorway, even though they called it the Dexter's Lab. I call this like the You're on Shrooms. It's got that like black and white swirlies into the psychedelic special with the colors, and then it's got the like speckled blue and the black. Really clean, really unique. I could see why people hate on it. I could see it. Me personally, I'm a fan. I'm gonna pop these probably in the mass section, because I see a lot of the colorways that are not that good, and the silhouette I will say is ugly, but this kind of, in my opinion, this colorway kind of buries it and covers the ugliness up. So sue me. Up next we have the Shaq ones. These are the Walmart basketball shoes, and you know what, I will say, for providing cheap, affordable basketball shoes, shout out to Shaq. These kind of have that like Jordan 1-esque theme to it, like that Jordan 1-esque silhouette. So they're not that bad, but they're also not good. So I'm gonna go ahead and say I would probably wear these over Trae Young 2s, LeBron 19s, Charles Barkley 1s. I'm gonna pop these in the kind of color. Did I call it a colorway? I'm gonna pop these in the kind of poop. Again, I don't want to swear too much. Kind of poop tier. Up first, we got the Snoop Dogg Sketcher ones. You heard me right. The Snoop Dogg Sketcher ones. They look like they have cheap material. They look super chunky. Colorway is ass. The Snoop logo's poop. And then up next, we have these random. I don't even know what brand these are, man. Someone suggested them. I put them in here. I think that's a Nike. Is that a Nike logo, or is that it? Oh, these are like and ones, I think. I want to say these are and ones. These low-key decent. Nope, they aren't. Lastly, we have the ZO2 ones and the ZO2 twos. I don't think that's what they were called, but they were Lonzo's first and second shoe with Big Baller Brand. The first ones, that all leather material, they look super cheap. They probably were super cheap, and I almost got them. That's a fun fact. I almost got them, and I wish I did, just to have them in my collection, but unfortunately I didn't. These babies really ugly. Not really a fan. But I will say they're not. I don't think they're on the level. I would take them over the Trae Young 2s. I'd take them over the Why Nots. Kind of. And then lastly, we have the ZO2 2s, the second Lonzo shoe with Big Baller Brand, of course. And I'll say these actually look kind of clean. They remind me of like an old school Hyperdunk. And me personally, I'm a fan of that, especially the blue colorway on screen. That's the only one I've seen of it. I think I've seen the white one. What am I? I'm lying. Kind of clean. Kind of sleek. Look way better than the first ones. So I'm gonna end the list with a banger and pop these in absolute fire. But bang, man, that's the final tier list right there. Let me know down below in the comments. Did I misplace any shoes in the wrong tier? Are there any ugly hoop shoes that I missed? And are there any other tier lists that you guys would like to see from me in regards to hoop shoes, normal shoes, whatever, players? Let me know if there are any other tier list ideas you guys would like to see. But bang, man, if you guys could like, comment, subscribe, I would appreciate it immensely. Hope you guys have a good one. I'm going to do my best to. Adios.